So, Jim, let's get to the news surrounding you at this time. Melter would report this in the Observer at the end of 1992. I believe Jim Duggan gave his notice this past week as well, but may be staying through the end of January. Duggan's leaving probably has to do with infrequent bookings, and when you're getting paid by the show, if you aren't working close to a full schedule, you aren't going to be making a lot. Jim, any truth to this rumor? Did you give your notice in late 92?
No.
No.
Nope,
So
I
just
didn't give him my notice.
Unfounded dirt sheet stuff.
They
Would you say
fired my ass, brother? Yeah, I like the sugarcoat it. It's like, yeah, Vince called me, brought me up. I mean, I called them to go up there, and when the writing was on the wall, they called me and said, thanks, but adios, amigos. Yeah, I didn't give a notice back then, and so they canned me. Yeah, it was
but
pretty
that
shocking. It wasn't as I was an adult man. I knew what was going on. When I was a kid, when I got cut from football, that was a terrifying ordeal, because that's all I knew. But wrestling, they fired me. I knew I'd go on and wrestle, but the writing was on the wall with Lex coming in, and I put Bam Bam over at a big pay-per-view. I can't remember what it was.
King of the Ring, I think.
Might have been, but whatever it was, I put Bam Bam 1, 2, 3 in the middle. So I'm like, time this goes full circle. I mean, and that's the business. You start off in small high school gyms and National Guard armories, and you work your way up to Madison Square Garden and the big arenas, and then you work your way down. In the old timers, you finish up in high school gyms and the National Guard armories. It's the cycle of wrestling.
That's it too.
But
And
it's a
yeah,
good
I mean,
cycle. I know brother, because I haven't done as many indies lately as I used to do. But I go to the indies, and the boys are the boys, no matter what generation or what country. You're over in Europe, the boys are the boys. I was at the show there all. I enjoy being around wrestlers.
a while back, it became kind of an internet argument, and actually some wrestlers were chiming in on it, where they were saying, like, somebody said, when a veteran wrestler goes to an indie show and the young guys come up to him and want to get a picture, it's very unprofessional. Like, that's what they were saying is like, nobody would do that back in the day. But then Sean Waltman actually chimed in, and he was like, I love it when guys ask me to take pictures.
Yeah. I asked the guys, anybody want to get pictures? Come on up, fellas. Because I know that a lot of them, I guess that must be the new attitude. But back you walk in the building, everybody is in the ring going over spots. Get out of the ring, come over, shake your hand, say hello. Very respectful of the indie guys. At least the shows that I've been to, the kids have been great, and they're all out. And that's why I tell them, if you've never been to an indie show, check one out, man. They're great. The kids are busting their ass to get the break, working hard. You sit closer to the ring, you get to meet the guys. It costs less money. I think indie shows are fun, and they bring in an old timer in every once in a while.
Definitely worthwhile. If you haven't gone to your local indie show, go out of your way, because I can attest to it. They are a blast. Yeah. Jim, did you ever ask an old timer for like an autograph or a picture back in the day? That just was not the thing, right?
No, not yeah. It was different back in the day. Yeah. It was a carnival atmosphere. It was a second generation deal. I mean, it was a much more tough atmosphere. My sister always thought it was mafiosa. She saw Vince Sr. was in the mafia. And then one time I went into his office, I was kind of wondering, man, him and Arnie Skoll are sitting there smoking big cigars, there's plastic on the floor. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, geez. Walked into the wrong room. We know that Melter's, comments here were unfounded, because you'd be with the company for another year before you'd leave. But would you say that you were getting frustrated with the company and this transition to the new generation of guys?
No, I could see it's kind of pretty much run its course.
Okay.
That's the deal. You stay with the company, and sooner or later, there's a flushing sound. That's the big leagues, caps and sleeves at this level. I mean, that's why I can't understand the kids come back. Look at this. I had a great match. I'm bruised and cut.
You're not supposed to do that, kid.
MMA's the next building down, brother.
It's supposed to look like it hurts and not hurt.
So I guess that Royal Rumble, they beat the hell out of each other. Everybody came out hurt.
Yes, yes, which, again, I'm like you where it's like I watch it, I'm like, "Why are these guys, like, actually hitting each other and stuff? Like, aren't you supposed to not do that?"
Yeah,
So, yeah, I don't know. That's
I was
what
on a
folks are.
cruise.
Yeah, I'd rather be watching it than doing it.
Yeah, my bed
So
was a little uncomfortable.
so look, I know that you would move on to WCW in 1994, but at this time, were you starting to weigh your options elsewhere as you felt your time in the WWF starting to wind down a little bit?
Well, I was going to ride that horse to the end, brother. As Macho Man, advice Macho gave me: never take yourself out of the game.
Mm.
And I took that to heart, and I was they're just stomping on my fingers. I'm like, no, I'm still here. Oh!
So you don't think you would
Yeah,
have ever left the WWF had you not been dismissed the
no,
following
I,
year?
I would have stayed as long as possible, unless they started abusing me, obviously.
Right.
Or
Yes.
they start jobbing me out all the time, and just just really abusing me. But yeah, I ran its course. It was a great run, and obviously that was to this day is the golden age, the WWF. Because by then a lot of guys I think were starting to move on. It was a new group coming in, and so I think I went down. I did the Indies for a while until I got the call. I get along with Hulkster. Hulkster and Jimmy Hart gave me the call to come over to WCW, and I believe I was on Hogan's first interview. I was standing behind him at WCW.